Hi guys, welcome to javainterviewquestions.com. Today we'll see one important tutorial on null pointer exception, which is very important because if you don't understand null pointer exception, it will be a nightmare because it's a basic exception and every Java developer will come across this at certain point of stage. So we should know about the null pointer exception. So first I'll define what is a null pointer exception, or when do we get a null pointer exception. So if you try to perform any operation on object which is null, then we'll get a null pointer exception. So if you take any object and we haven't initialized that object, so by default it references to null. Okay, and if we try to perform any operations on that object, that means calling an variable by calling a variable or method of that particular object with that null value, we get null pointer exception. Okay, so why we get reasons for null pointer exception? While accessing or changing any variable or field on null object, we get null pointer exception. While accessing or changing any variable or field on null object, we get null pointer exception. And by using null, if we try to call the instance method, okay, then we get null pointer exception. And assume that array is array. We have initialized an array with null value, and if we try to call length method on it, then we get null pointer exception. Throwing null as if it were a throwable value. Okay, when a method is expecting exception, and if we try to throw null value, then we will get a null pointer exception. Let's see the demo how when we get a null pointer exception and how to fix that. Okay, first I created a class null pointer exception demo, and I have written a main method. So string str equals to null. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm calling sysout str dot length. Okay, I'm just calling str dot length. So, and if I try to run this method, I'll get null pointer exception. And there is also warning here, null pointer access. The variable string can only be null at this location. Okay, even the Eclipse is giving you warning that it might throw a null pointer exception. Let's run this and see. Null pointer exception. So how to fix it? So if you take the string str, so it is initialized to null. Okay, here we should give some value or at least some object. Okay, so I'm initializing it to empty, assume that. Okay, now the string will not be null. In that case, the string length is 0. Okay, same way if we take an array and if we try to call array.length, then we get null pointer exception. So this is what about null pointer exception, and this is very important. Hope you guys understand this video. Thanks for watching my video. If you like my video, don't forget to subscribe to my video.